Gonna be close one, baby. It's gonna be close. Whoa. Oh no, friends, that happened again. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to Truth Quest. My name is Aaron Moriarity. I will be your host, and we're gonna go on a quest for truth together. Yes, we are. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas time with your friends and family. I know I certainly did. I didn't get to see my mother and brothers, but I got to see my son, my daughter, and my two granddaughters. And so that was great. Very great. I am going to share this out to my friends over there on Facebook, because I know there are some friends waiting to hear when I'm going live. It's always a question. And so we just give them a little message. We are live. Exclamation point. All right. That will get the message across. Across. Hello, Catherine Weiss. First one here. Welcome to the program. All righty then. I'm going to grab number 3. I get number 3 on the thumbs up. So I get number 3 is my lucky number. Hello, Dark Brain. There you are. Wow. So quickly you guys get here. I don't know how you guys do it. Someday you have to teach me your secret. Well, welcome here to the Truth Quest, where we're just downrange of strange, where the outrageous is contagious and the paranormal is the new normal. Yes, indeedy. It surely is. And why, we've got some things to look at today, friends. Stuff is always happening. I'm getting awfully tired of hearing people talk about the stupid Tic Tac video and, oh, the government says that they're real. It's really nothing to write home about. There's far more doors closed than open in this subject here as it relates to disclosure. And we're not really anywhere near it. Some people might say, well, it's something. Well, I think it's not much, okay? It will take a lot to get me excited, because I had my hopes up the first time they put us all through this back in 1997 was supposed to be the year of disclosure. That was when it was all going to come out. And we did get some breakthrough information. We got the Philip Corso's book, The Day After Roswell. Hello, Rosetta Stone. Good to see you here. Yes. So we were supposed to have disclosure in 1997, and we really did. Because I wonder if I have that book here. No, that's not it. Oh, I don't have it here. Oh yeah, here it is. The Day After Roswell. Now I had the original book, which had a different cover. It was smaller, and it was the original book. However, I lent that book out to a neighbor of mine, and he's a retired Air Force. And he showed me around his place, and quite decorated. He had top secret clearance. And I started talking about this book. And he said, where did you hear that? Where did you hear all that? How do you know all this? I said, it's in this book. Oh, he was all, yeah, I mean, I suppose if you spend your whole life keeping secrets and then all of a sudden it comes out in a book, it kind of startles you. But yeah, I lent him the book and I never saw him again. I don't know. Ever since then, there's these white vans with radar dishes on top of them in front of my house. No, not really. Not really, not really. Hello, Jacob Waters and Just Josh. Welcome to the program. Bless me. Oh my goodness. Hold on a second, friends. I'm going to throw my jacket on. It's a little bit chillier than I had anticipated. So I don't want to freeze to death here. So let's put on a little jacket. And there we go. How's that? Yeah. So there we are, and there we have it. And I got to thank everyone who super chatted last episode, especially Dark Brain and James Rohrback. Dark Brain, you outdid yourself, and thank you very much. You really helped make that a wonderful, wonderful time there. So thank you so much. Hi, Just Josh. Hello, Andre Little. Hello there. Welcome to the program. All right. Thank you. Yeah, it was a little bit chilly. I almost put the jacket on. I thought, no. Then all of a sudden it got really cold in here. I don't know. Maybe the dogs figured out how to open up the door. But we've been tracking something on the ISS footage that comes out. There's live streams of it every day. And I was watching one just before I went on here. I took a screenshot, and so why don't we just take a look at that right now, shall we? All right. So this is a screenshot that I just took a few minutes ago. All right. So you can see the Earth here. Now, some say that this curvature is accentuated because of the lens they use on the camera. Whatever. I don't know. But this is the scene, or the camera that I catch this thing right up here. Okay, up here. And so let's see if we can tease this out. And I got a close-up of just this area here. I'll bring in a little bit here, but we're gonna do our famous little thing. And oh, you know what? You see that right here? Do you see it? Look at that thing. Okay, there it is. Just like before. All right. But you see the pixelation? The pixelation is really bad. So we go over to the sharpness, and we're going to dull it down a little bit so we get a little fuzzier edge, but we get a little better definition, a better idea of what it looks like. Okay, there we go. Right? See that? It's at an angle. And now it looks like it's back in one piece. They must have been adding something to it. They took this bottom part off, and now it's back on. So there you go. And so, and this has the date and everything, December 27th, 2021. It has where it is. Okay, it's over India. All right, and there's the coordinates. And from this particular view, when you see this particular view in the ISS live streams, when it's going, you'll see that this is like the back of it. So you're seeing where it's been, not where it's going. Okay, so it's in the back of the ship. And that's where this thing always is, in this arm. And then this thing's right here. There's also something over here too. And it doesn't quite come out. But if I save this and then do it again, it'll come out even brighter. But instead of doing that, I'm going to do that with this close-up of that same image, because I blew up, went to widescreen, and then I focused in on that area, and I just screenshotted that area. So I think it'll be better for doing this. So let's do this. Here is that close-up. And now we are going to do our little magic to that as well. And what are we coming up with? There it is. Look at that. All right. Are we getting pixelated here? Not really. A little bit. A little bit pixelated. Let's see. We can unsharpen it just a tad. There we go. All right. So now what we do is we take another, we're going to zoom in on it a little bit more. Okay. And then we're going to take a screenshot of this. All right. And you see all the areas that are kind of looking lit up. Those are other artifacts near it, whether they're vehicles or whatnot, right? So there's that. Oh, now I have to open that up. Okay, we'll open that up and we'll do the same thing again. Does that sound like fun? We're having so much fun here. Oh yeah. So here we go. We're going to stop streaming on this. And we'll go over to, did it come up? And we need to screen share. And I'm going to bring, as soon as I get this up here, friends, I'm going to put in the call-in information if you want to call in. So there it is again. Oh, wait a minute. That's not it. Is that it? It's already to the max. So let's see here. Uh-oh. It's already maxed out, so I guess I didn't save it. Oh, I just opened it. Something's weird here, friends. I have to try this again. Is this it? No, it's not it. Reset all. See? It resets. Okay. Here we go. Fuzz it out again. We're going to do the same thing again. Yeah. Well, how come that screenshot didn't show up? Interesting. Well, that's baffling, friends. I'm sorry about this. This is what, you know, some of this research is tedious work, I'm telling you. And we're doing it on the fly. I just, you know, I saw this right before I went on. I thought, oh, that'll be cool. We'll just get that on there. We'll try it one more time and see if it will work this time. This time, I'm going to zoom this back out. Oops. All right, and then we're going to stop that. And we're going to open up the one I just took. Hopefully, hope you're all hanging in there. You know what? Maybe I should just get the, while I'm wrestling with this, I'm going to, oh boy, the call-in information before I forget. And you know what, friends? I have a question. I have one question. Okay, that's copied. Go back over here. Hello, Peggy Dancer. And Artist 61, Andre Little. Mud Rabbit, hello there. Everybody's here. Wonderful. Yeah, my one question is, why can't every day be like Christmas? Why can't that feeling go on endlessly? You know, why can't every day be like Christmas? What a wonderful world it would be. Great lyrics, great song. Hey, Mud Rabbit. All right, is this gonna be cooperating with me yet here? Yeah, we are gonna have to be doing something about this extremely limiting computer I have here. It's more of a confuser than a computer at this point. I had a very good Christmas weekend. I was not able to go visit my folks or my mother, but I had a wonderful time with my children and my two grandchildren. Yeah, so there you go. This is still not going to do it for me, is it? Well, you know, maybe let's just do the old-fashioned way, where I close this and open it again. Will it work? I don't know. We're trying, folks. We're trying. We're trying everything here. Trying to make it work. So, is that window? Something's going wrong, friends. Something's not right here. I think the deep state might be stealing my giggle bites while I'm sleeping or something. Do you think that's possible? There you go. All right, well, this is ridiculous. Okay. I got an idea. How about a meme with our favorite meme guy, Gene Wilder? This is a pretty good one. Me watching vaccinated people catch COVID while only being around other vaccinated people. I wonder if they'll figure it out. Look at those eyes. Oh my goodness. He is the king of memes, I'm telling you. Yeah. You can literally put any words next to a picture of him and it looks like he's actually saying or thinking those exact things. Don't you think? It's quite amazing, really. It's a phenomenon. Wouldn't you think? Wouldn't you say? I would think, I would say. So there you go. Memes are cool. We love our memes, and memes are going to save the world. Yes, they are. I'm taking words right out of the mouth of Queppy. If you're not familiar with Queppy, you'll have to go back into my show archives here. I believe I did 5 episodes with Queppy. Queppy is Peppy's brother, I think. Peppy, the mascot of the movement. Yeah, don't you love Gene memes? Yeah, I agree, Mud Rabbit. He is the king of memes. For sure. He sure is. Okay. All right. Oh, I want this to open up for me. If anyone wants to call in, that would be fantastic. I'm keeping an eye on the participant box, and hopefully we'll get a call. So there you go. That's a great meme. Boy, you know, if it wasn't for memes, I would have really lost it. Say, I was watching an old episode of Secure Team 10, Secure Team with Tyler. And there's a story, and I took a screenshot, and go check his channel out. He's got so many awesome videos that you'll keep yourself busy for an awful long time looking at all that stuff. Here it is. So the story was there was an anonymous poster on some anonymous board, whether it was 4chan or Reddit or something like that, and he claimed to be an extraterrestrial. And he needed some rare element, and his ship was out of this rare element, and he couldn't go as fast as he needs to go to get out of here. So he was stuck around here. And so he started talking, this person started posting, and everyone wanted this person to prove that this person was really who they're saying they were. So they gave him coordinates on Earth to go check out. And then he would give these strange photographs with these lines in it. And this is supposedly a photograph of his home planet. But everything is kind of like this grainy, weird texture. Apparently, according to Tyler, all the pictures that were taken were not, they did reverse search on the images. They couldn't find any correlation to anything on Google Earth or anything. And then someone gave coordinates on the moon. They went to the moon and he showed pictures of the moon. And then his people came before he thought, and he left. Oh. So I thought it was a very interesting story. And so it was from 2017. Yeah, 2017. 9/26/2017. So go check out that video by Secure Team, and you will be enthralled. And we got a call, friends. Hello, Max.
Hello, Aaron.
How are you doing today?
Good.
Good.
You?
I'm doing pretty good. My computer's going very slow, and something
Are
just...
you live?
Yes, I'm live.
Okay.
I just was trying to open up this JPEG or PNG, whatever it is, and it finally opened on me. So I'm gonna which one is it? I think it's that one. 6.
What are you talking about?
Well, talking about a couple of things here. Which one is this? Maybe that's it. Is this it? Okay. All right. I'm just doing a manipulation of that long angled craft that I keep seeing in the ISS footage. So there it is, friends. There's what it is. It looks like it's back to its normal length again. And more work is being done on it. So that's it. So what's new in your world, Max?
Oh, not a whole lot. I always got projects that I'm working on, but they're nothing substantial to report on right now. Continue to work on a big solar project.
Wow.
But it's right now it's kind of designing a new system.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make the first solar cell that can stand the impacts of micrometeors.
Okay.
And so it doesn't incorporate any glass into it at all. So.
All right. Well, that sounds interesting. Well, I suppose micrometeors are a problem up there.
Well, I would imagine.
I got an idea. Maybe you can incorporate this. You can take credit for it if you want to. So a solar panel, you set it up into like a bunch of mini solar panels, really small, and have them on like a pivot. So if a micrometeorite hits it, it spins it, and that spinning generates more electricity. There you go.
Hey. That's an interesting idea. I mean, maybe if you're in a particularly dense place with micrometeorite, the problem is it's probably torn your ship apart by then.
Sure. Yeah. Good point.
Detailed, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But they do have a plastic. They do have a plastic solar panel. It's not particularly efficient, but they're of course dramatically more resistant to damage.
Well,
they're just not efficient enough.
Couldn't you use that stuff that's that super lightweight stuff that's called they call it like solid smoke, but it can stop. What's it called?
That's an interesting idea. It's gosh,
I can't remember
what that is.
I know, but it's super lightweight. It's like supposed to replace all plastic. They said that about 10 or 15 years ago. And it's super, super strong. I think it's like molecularly, it's almost, there's nothing there. It's very light. And you can hold you can hold a piece of this stuff and put a torch on it, and you can't feel it through your hand. I mean, it protects your hand. I think that's the same stuff. But it's
what can I'm drawing a blank. I don't understand why I can't remember what that is.
Well, you know what? I got the old intranet here. Let me look it up.
That technology is actually a lot more advanced than you realize. That particular one is they use silicon molecules.
Yeah.
To make essentially what amounts to really fine glass fibers that are linked together, and but they've been able to do that with aerospace plastics too.
Aerogels.
Aerogels.
Yeah.
The benefits of the other, they've even made metallic aerogels.
Yeah.
The benefit of them, of course, they're dramatically stronger.
Sure. And it take less material.
Right. And I had this idea actually using an aerospace composite to make a 30-foot by 30-foot cube of it. And it would weigh about, I think it was going to weigh, a 30-foot cube, I was going to weigh, I think, 30 pounds.
Yeah.
And I was going to anchor it and use it to stop semis that have run out of control semis.
Okay.
It would hit and it would be like a giant pillow.
Yeah.
You know how they got the sand traps that
Sure.
runaway semis?
Sure.
It'd be like that, except it would hit this gigantic pillow and it would slow the runaway truck.
Yeah. I've always thought that the big trucks should have their own roads. They should have dedicated roads where the little cars can't dart in front of them. You know.
Uh-huh. Well, I've had enough. I've had enough experiences in my life where the semi tries to come over into your lane and apparently doesn't see you.
Yeah.
I've narrowly escaped being crushed a number of times by semis that way.
Me too. Yeah, that's what gave me the idea. I drove my Fiero all the way from Rhode Island to Minnesota, and almost every semi I passed almost creamed me out because they couldn't see me. I'm so low, you know.
Right. So, yeah, it can be very frightening.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Aerogels are really interesting things. But you can research it. There's a lot of that technology is considerably more advanced than they put out on the internet.
Sure. I just threw a picture up there of it. It's a guy holding a piece of it. It looks rather crude, but it's an amazing discovery. Isn't it almost like isn't it almost like empty molecularly? There's hardly anything there.
Yeah, it's about 99% air.
And it's stronger than anything. That's so weird, isn't it?
It's very strong. Now, one of the things they do use the aerogels like that for right now is to catch cosmic fragments from space.
Oh yeah.
In Antarctica.
That's
they
right.
put it out on the ice, anchor it down, and then fragments that come from space get locked into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, pull them out and analyze them.
Interesting.
So,
yeah. Well, that's interesting stuff. Well, maybe they're showing a lot of car parts here, like for no, I think that's no. I think I put smoked plastic smoke, solids plastic smoke, and I'm getting smoked plastic lenses so this isn't aerogel. There you go. That's what the Google search will do. It'll confuse the heck out of you. There you go.
Now imagine if you could use a memory metal.
There you go.
And do the same thing with it.
Yeah.
You know, like supposedly within the Roswell craft, you know, that you can fold up and as soon as you let go, it'll return to its original shape.
Yeah, with no creases at all. Yeah. It's not Mylar.
Imagine making an aerogel combined with that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool to make things out of?
Yeah, it sure would. You know, everyone's got these, a lot of people have these 3D printers where they print plastic, right? It would be nice if the plastics that we get from our everyday life could be recycled into those machines. You know, put it into a grinder and grind it up and extrude it out into these extrusions that they use.
Right. Well, they can actually do more. They can actually do more than they are. I mean, I once had a big project where I did a lot of extrusion.
Yeah.
And of course I was looking how to use recycled plastics, right? Use waste plastics to make products from it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's lots they could do, but nobody's doing it. Right. Which I don't understand, because there's lots of money to be made doing it. You know, look at what is those high density polyethylene bags that you get at Walmart or whatever, and the grocery stores.
Yeah.
In some parts of the country, they practically ban those things because there's too much of them.
Is there?
That's very easy to recycle. I don't understand why they don't do it. I guess, maybe one of these days I will.
I think they do recycle those. You bring them back to the store and you put them in a thing.
Well, they do. There's some recycling, but nobody's making a lot of the products, derived from it. There's no way or no reason why there shouldn't be a very healthy use of those bags going into all kinds of good products.
Yeah. I tell you one thing. I miss the paper bags. I do have a grocery store that still has paper bags, but I prefer the paper bags because they don't fall over as easy as those plastic ones.
Oh yeah, yeah, and they're a lot more. They're very easily recyclable, and of course they're environmentally they'll break down. And
mm-hmm.
The big disadvantage of paper bags, of course, is they do attract. There's some insects that love to lay their eggs on paper bags, especially roaches.
Oh yeah.
So if you have them in your house, like a lot of people put them in the closet, right? Store the eggs in the bag in the closet.
Yeah.
Well, it's an ideal breeding ground for roaches.
Oh.
So,
well,
you typically, if you have those bags for any great length of time, you probably got a roach problem.
Wow.
Just to let you know.
And they rip too. That's the other problem with them is they rip.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
But they are, in fact, a good choice.
I've never had cockroaches. I take that back. I had one cockroach in my brand new home. First home I ever bought was a brand new house on Tuxedo Boulevard in Mound, Minnesota. And there was this giant cockroach dead on my counter on a brand new house.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking, where did this thing come from? That's the only one I've ever seen, ever, except for when I was in New York.
Well, there's a lot of different kinds of roaches. A lot of times you'll get what's called wood roaches that are attracted to these bags. And there's actually some little beetles that aren't actually roaches but they look so close to roaches if you don't know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
You say, oh, that's a cockroach.
If you look close enough, you can tell the beetles though, because they have that haircut.
They got what?
They got that funny haircut, and they got the guitars.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be a dad joke.
And they got the guitars and everything,
Yeah.
Don't they?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I want to wish everyone a happy New Year if I forget to say it. Oops. New Year.
For some reason, you sound a little muffled.
Oh, do I? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I had my arm I'm typing something, so I'm at a different little angle here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, there
was a little bit of the Charlie Brown teacher effect.
Wah, 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 wah. Yeah. I love that. That was pretty clever.
Yeah.
He didn't have to draw them, and he didn't have to have a voice for them.
As a kid, I really loved it when they did that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I don't know. Charlie Brown's probably not allowed in the woke movement, right?
I don't know. I used to teach daycare, and the first place I taught daycare was at a school, Alice Smith Elementary School. It was an in-house latchkey program. And gosh, I'm doing a couple different things here, and I just lost my train of thought. What were we talking about?
Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown. Oh, that's it. So one day, our director, Bob Wojak, said, all right, we're going to have something exciting is going to happen. We're going to have the actual Charlie Brown is going to be here. Charlie Brown is going to come and visit the daycare. He is the real life character and childhood friend of Charles Schulz that inspired the comic strip Peanuts and Charlie Brown. His real name was Charlie Brown. And the kids got all excited. And then a few days before he was supposed to come, he passed away.
Oh, no.
So then we had to tell the kids, sorry, Charlie Brown can't come because he passed away. And it was pretty devastating, But, almost got to meet him. My mom got to meet Charles Schultz. He came to Staples High School where she was going to school. And
I thought you were setting me up for a dad joke there. I was waiting for the punchline.
No.
Okay.
Not all the time. Just most of the time.
Yeah. You do a masterful job, because many times when I'm sitting here and I'm hearing you talk about things, I'm thinking, okay, is he setting me up here? And then there's lots of these plot twists where, no, he's not. Yeah, maybe. And then all of a sudden the zinger comes right at you. It's like, oh.
Yeah, I guess so.
You need to present someone the way you normally present them to me to the people out here, because I don't think they've seen the extent of your craftsmanship on dad jokes.
You mean my craftsmanship?
Yeah, well, they're really, you quite masterfully present these things in a very elaborate way, and you don't know what,
Oh.
they're not the one-liners that you put on here now,
Yeah.
You've really thought them out, and you're like,
well,
when you get hit by it, it's like, whoa.
I read every joke book I could get my hands on when I was a kid. And sometimes, some jokes take like a primer, like someone has to say something to trigger it. And so I have this whole catalog of jokes they're just waiting to come out if I get the right primer.
I must give you a lot of primers, because, man, some of the ones that you've come up with is like, holy moly,
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming,
Yeah, it is what it is. I whatever, but so like one time I heard this joke or read this joke, I thought, oh, that's a great joke. But it took a prompt. And it was over 20 years before someone said the prompt. Okay. And it was at a coffee shop. And the prompt was, someone said, they took a sip of their coffee and they said, well, this coffee tastes like mud. And I said, well, it should. It was just ground this morning.
Yeah.
I love that. I've said that joke before, and I'll say it again.
All right.
I love that joke. Everybody needs to hear that joke.
Yeah.
And I think that if you're in a certain profession, you should study, and you should research, and you should know most of the jokes that pertain to your particular profession. And if the profession you're looking at getting into has way too many jokes, maybe you might not want to go into that, because there's a lot of memorization there.
Yeah.
I think it's important.
Well, I don't know what I trigger you with offline, but I've got to figure out how to trigger you online here so that people can hear even one of these things. It's like you're listening to a novel, and then all of a sudden he springs it on you. I'm not kidding, folks. It's incredible. We're hearing his low-level stuff here most of the time. He's got some just just fantastic jokes.
Well, thank you. Well, unfortunately, I can't think of any right now, but what really comes to mind is something around in a local area here, and it might be nationwide, I'm not sure, but it seems like they're going to be maybe outlawing those round bales of hay that you see on the side of the road.
Oh.
Yeah. They're going to outlaw them.
No.
Yeah.
Why are they outlawing those bales of hay?
Well, because the cows weren't getting a square meal. Boompa! Gotcha. I think I've got you on that one before too, so that counts double.
No, I haven't heard that one. That's a new one.
Oh, really? That's a new one?
That was nowhere near elaborate enough. I have to figure out what I'm doing to trigger. Because I want people to see. You're.
And I don't know what you're talking about because I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, you.
I'm not aware of it. It just happens.
Yeah, you're. Most of the ones you do on here are 1 line, 2 line, whatever. You have a masterful build-up on some of the ones we've talked about before, and
really,
yeah, and it's like,
wow,
where's he going with this? I haven't heard this story, and they're thinking because I've seen I've heard one of these dad jokes before, and I'm thinking, is this one of those dad jokes? And you don't know, and you're still talking, and you're still building it up, and it's like, no, it can't be. It's too elaborate to be one of those. And then they're, it's all going through my head.
Mm-hmm.
And just for the time, and I think that, no, it can't be a dad joke. You get me with the zinger, and it's like, and it's an art. You definitely have it. You definitely have it.
Wow, thanks.
If you could come out with that, if you could do that all the time, you'd have you could have a job as a stand-up comedian. I mean, it was just incredible.
Well,
in fact,
thank you.
If we figure out how to trigger that, that's something you ought to do when you do your Elvis shows.
Yeah.
Too.
I do a lot of joking. I do a lot of joking around when I do my Elvis shows. Trust me. Yeah.
That's probably where you got the practice.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you the one I thought of? I was doing this gig up in Washington Island, up here in Door County. Door County is like a peninsula, but at the tip, there's an island above the tip of the peninsula, and that's Washington Island. And so there's a fella up there that he was hiring me a few years back to go up and do shows at his restaurant bar, which is right by where the ferry picks you up, takes you, because you can bring your car over. He always paid to bring my car over so I could drive the car. It's really, really rustic. It's like in the 40s out there, 1940s or 30s. It's really, the roads are different. The telephone poles are different. It's just bizarre. And
getting that feeling again.
So I'm looking at the crowd. I'm thinking, I thought of this joke. I thought, I looked at the crowd to make sure it would be okay to tell the joke. And I thought, well, I think it might go over well. So here I am out on the deck of this beautiful place in Washington Island, beautiful place. It's just a gorgeous summer day. And I'm doing this gig and I got the microphone there. And between songs, I said, I just love coming up here to Washington Island. It's like a trip into the past. I just love coming up here. And you know what? You don't have to be gay to come up here to Washington Island, but you do have to ride a ferry for 30 minutes. And they loved it. They laughed pretty hard. They laughed pretty darn hard at that.
Well, that was closer. That was closer to the stuff that you do. You had this, weave the story together and whatever, and you're like,
Uh-huh.
And then all of a sudden, like whack you over the head with a joke. It's the best way I can describe it. But that was closer. That was closer.
All right.
Yeah. Because you're sitting back here and you're listening to this and you're thinking, wow, you don't know if you're just telling a story or you don't know. You think after you've experienced a few of these, you're like, is this a joke? No, it doesn't seem like a joke.
But that was a real story about a real joke that I actually did tell. So that's kind of a mix of that stuff.
Maybe that's a secret. Maybe that's what I don't know.
Well, I used to sell timeshare up in Egg Harbor. And so I would sit down at a table with these couples and it would be like a 90-minute presentation with the tour and everything. But besides walking around, we're mostly just sitting at the table. And I don't know why, I just, sometimes think of funny things to say, and people would always comment, "Oh, you should be a stand-up comedian. You're so funny." And I said, "Well, I could never be a stand-up comedian." They said, "Well, why not?" I said, "Well, I do it mostly sitting down because we're sitting down." Ba-doom-ba. So there's another one.
Oh yeah, no.
But I found that's a great way to sell, is to just tell jokes.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
You tell jokes nonstop until they buy. You will not let them go. You hold them hostage until they hear every single joke you're going to tell. No.
Put them at ease, to disarm them.
Yeah, well, it's great. It's a great way. I sold 4 timeshares in one day.
Wow.
Yeah, and I got no spiffs. Nothing.
Oh.
In fact, my boss said, after the 3rd one sold, he goes, "Okay, Aaron, you're on a roll. If you sell this next one, I'll buy you a steak dinner." That was when I was still eating steak. I sold it, and I didn't get the steak dinner. What the heck?
Oh well.
Yeah, that was something else. But Meadow Ridge was the resort, and nice place. I had employees could use the pool, so I brought my kids down there, and we had a great time. It was so much fun. And since I worked for Interval International timeshare company, I got to take these getaway vacations, these extra vacations. And that's how I got to take my kids to Disney World on one of those extra vacations that they sell.
Oh wow.
So we had a week in a condo, had a kitchen, and a half a mile from the entry of Disney, $154 for the week.
Oh.
And had a kitchen, so you could make food and save money that way too.
Right.
So it really was. I mean, we actually paid more to kennel the dog, and the dog didn't have the jacuzzi or a pool. So
Yeah.
it was amazing. So yeah, if
Wow.
you know someone who has timeshare, you don't need to buy timeshare. You just need to talk to your friend about getting one of those extra vacations. I calls them getaway vacations, because
Uh-huh.
when I was working there was like 10 million units for rent worldwide, but there was only 1 million being used at any time. So
Well,
there's a big.
all the friends that I have that have timeshares are mad because of all the fees.
Oh yeah,
They're trying to get out of them.
yeah, That's.
So,
But when you go to a motel, you're paying the fees too. You're paying the fees there. Everything
I know,
always.
but it's one of those things that the annual fee, all of a sudden, 1 year it's $1,000, which
Yeah.
some of the friends I know, that's no big deal for a year.
Right.
But that they come back the next year and it's 2,000.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
next year it's 3,000 or 4,000. They say, whoa, and this is starting to get out of hand,
Uh-huh.
And they try to get out of their deal, and there's all kinds of other fees that take place if you try to get out of the deal.
Well, that's why you don't need to buy timeshare. You just have to have a friend who has timeshare and get the extra vacations. That's the way to.
Right. I could see if you had one, that would be the thing to do. If you had some trustworthy friends that wanted to rent it, you could cover those fees,
Mm-hmm.
and enjoy it a whole lot better because you didn't feel like you're getting raked over the coals.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting something out of it.
I got this picture up on the screen. It's from the ISS, and I did that thing to reveal something, and a strange image pops up. It almost looks like a pause and a play button. And it's very, but I think it's just an artifact of the photograph. I don't think it's anything in space, but it's curious. It's curious. So I thought I'd show that. It's kind of weird, but we're into the weird stuff here. where the outrageous is
Period.
continued.
Aaron goes to space.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there we are. Let's see.
Hey, there you go. Awesome Possum goes to space.
There you go. Someone did mention that the other day, I think. Yeah. Put Awesome Possum in space.
Well, that sounds pretty good.
That could happen.
Kids are already fascinated by space.
Mm-hmm. I showed this last episode, but it deserves to be shown again. It's a meme. A meme. Because I love memes. So meme madness. Where is it? Well, hopefully it'll come up here. So yeah, there it is. It's good we don't fit in. It means we're not assholes. It's one of those little puppet guys talking to Rudolph. Those stop motion shows they made back in the 70s, 60s and 70s.
Hey, I'm sure you saw this, but I wanted to bring it up in case you had. You see that guy from Oregon that had a conversation with Brandon?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where he's saying he's talking to him and says Merry Christmas and let's go Brandon, and then Biden says what did he say? He says
yeah, let's go Brandon. I agree. Yeah, let's go Brandon.
Yeah,
I agree.
Let's go Brandon.
He just told himself to go F himself. He just told himself to go F himself.
Right.
Unbelievable. And what's the most bizarre about this whole fiasco of the Joe Brandon regime is, they were so ready to take anything Trump did and say, oh, he's not fit for office because this, and this. Well, look at this idiot who tells himself to F off. And no one says a thing. It's just...
It's just crazy.
And you see his wife's face.
Another great show. You probably saw this already because I know you watch Quite Frankly a lot.
Yeah.
On the 23rd, he had that show. I can't remember the lady's name. She was telling about all the progress that's being made. She goes out and teaches, about the Constitution and.
Oh, Ruth Ann Hall. Ruth Ann Hall.
Huh?
Ruth Ann Hall. Is that her?
That might be her name. I can't remember.
I can't remember either. Okay. Anyway.
And it was really extraordinary because she's telling about the thing, the teaching the Sheriff's Association, all these things and how they can fight back and really making a great, big difference out there.
That's
and
awesome.
She was describing some of the things that were going on around the country. And I think every patriot ought to listen to that because it's really uplifting. Because, we don't get we need a channel. We need like a mainstream media channel that gets this information out there to all, so that because people would be very uplifted to hear what's really going on.
Yes.
So there really is a transformation of America beginning at the local level. That's to take the country back.
Yes.
So it really is happening, folks. So
yeah. One more.
And we're all important. Just our mindset, just our intention helps to make all that happen. Like I told you the other day, that I got this feeling that something very important is supposed to happen here on your channel, and it relates to what I've been telling people about the Insurrection Act of 1807.
Are you sure it's not the cat memes? I think it might be the cat memes. I think that the cat memes the cat memes might be.
Well, they might be important.
Yeah, I got one up right now.
It could be important too.
Yeah.
I can't just get off that.
Yes.
But I got the sense that someone needs to look that up and when they do, somebody out there is going to realize that. You see, it's one thing if somebody tells you. So, if I tell you that this was the thing that gave Trump the legal right to remain as president. It's one thing if I tell you that. It's another once you take that step and you read it, you realize, oh wow, that's the case. It's like when we're kids and we touch your mother tells you, don't touch that hot thing on the stove, you'll get burnt.
Yeah.
And the kid says, huh? And then what does the kid do? It touches it. That's how we learn.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we hear what someone's saying, but we don't believe it until we actually do it. And so many people don't believe in UFOs until they've actually seen one.
Right. I'm one of those.
In the same way, that's what I'm telling you, that the part of the experience is missing is that when I told you about this, that the Insurrection Act of 1807 is the act that traps the deep state. It was planned from the start. Trump knew, because he had the information ahead of time, he knew if he got enough patriots to Washington that the deep state would declare an insurrection, and he would use that to take control of the government. That's what's going on. So I urge somebody out there to take the next step and look up what they can about the Insurrection Act of 1807, especially if you can find a full text. And come back here and come on here and share some of it with us.
Yeah, I did look it up, but I didn't get to the actual text. I got some other sideline thing. They might be muddying the water, so be careful looking for it.
Yeah, so, well, I don't know the definitive place to find it. It's probably the Library of Congress, but there's probably other sites you can look that up on, at least get a summary of it.
Oh, Library of Congress, yeah.
That would be enough that people can see what I'm talking about. Because once you see it, you'll know the 5D chess that's been involved here in trafficking people.
Okay.
So,
I want to show a picture of my granddaughter, Emery. Right, here she is. There she is. Isn't she pretty? Now, I want to ask everybody to keep my other granddaughter in prayers because she went to the emergency room on Christmas night. And,
oh no.
And she's had this really bad cough for a long time. And they think that she has asthma. She's 2. So.
Well, I can tell you what causes asthma.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a paper out there. Where you find this is called the author's Gail Cassell. She's a vice president of Eli Lilly. She's got I think the paper's called something like chronic causes of diseases and cancer or something like that. And it tells about the 2 bacteria that cause asthma. Asthma is something you can get rid of. But it's unfortunately, it's 2 of the most common respiratory bacteria. If I remember correctly, it's the 2 bacteria are Mycoplasma pneumoniae and Chlamydia pneumoniae. And it's not the sexually transmitted chlamydia. There's a common chlamydia that's associated, believe it or not, with arterial plaque.
Chlamydia, that encyclopedia.
And by the way, I've done some research relating chlamydia pneumoniae to triggering the reaction that causes Parkinson's disease.
Oh,
One of the things I study is root causes of disease. I've kind of taken up the mantle a little bit of Louis Pasteur. He said that most diseases are caused by microorganisms,
okay.
and I think we still haven't grasped how right he was.
Right. Wow.
And anyway, the evidence is that the presence of chlamydia pneumoniae in the brain, the body produces something called nitric oxide to get rid of as I say, the immune bullet, I say. One of my discoveries, the immune bullet is nitric oxide. And this nitric oxide there's a lot of diseases out there where the excess nitric oxide produced in response to a bacteria does additional damage to the tissue.
Okay.
In this case, nitric oxide reacts with the dopamine producing cells in the brain.
Okay.
And when that happens, you get the symptoms of Parkinson's disease. I'll give you another example, Crohn's disease, or also known as ulcerative colitis.
Hold on a second. I just have to acknowledge this. My son chimed in. I guess he was listening. He says, I'm in the hospital right now with Hazel, and she's getting released in the morning. In the morning has been a long 3 days, but Hazel is doing good. Thanks, everyone. Wow, 3 days in the hospital. Wow. Yeah, I guess she was having fun. Okay, go on. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
But one of these other diseases that is like this, where the body's immune response causes the damage we associate with the disease.
Okay.
Is Crohn's disease. Crohn's disease is also known as ulcerative colitis. The little villi in the intestine get ulcerated, and they get ulcerated because of nitric oxide that's produced in response to the bacteria. Now, the bacteria in that case is usually, but not always, the Helicobacter pylori that causes stomach ulcers.
Okay.
And the ulcerate, when those villi become ulcerated, of course, they're sticky. If the intestine happens to get squeezed together at one point, they can stick together and block the colon. But when they get ulcerated, they also don't absorb iron, so people tend to get anemia over time. And another thing that this is closely related to celiac disease. Celiac disease, of course, is essentially a wheat gluten allergy. Your wheat gluten gets in close proximity to these villi. It causes basically an immune response, and this nitric oxide is produced, causes the villi to be ulcerated, and you no longer absorb your iron. And people who have celiac disease that's had it for a long time, if you took a sample of their blood, it's actually orange instead of red. And it's orange because there's insufficient hemoglobin in there, not enough iron.
Wow.
And certain things can make them very sick, like the antibiotic doxycycline can make them exceptionally sick, where a normal person can take 10 days or 14 days of doxycycline, no problem. One treatment with doxycycline, these people will make them really sick. It's a telltale sign. If you wanted to kind of distinguish whether or not someone's got celiac disease, give them one course of doxycycline. If they get really sick when you do that, now, of course, that's assuming you're not allergic to doxycycline, of course. But then,
So,
but there's a whole lot of diseases like that.
So asthma is caused by a couple of little bacteria.
Bacteria. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So my son has asthma too. So
well, I'll see if I can remember or look up the name of that paper.
I wrote it down.
It's a very good paper.
Gail Castle.
That details it.
Eli Lilly,
Uh,
chronic causes of disease and cancer.
Look up Gail, Gail, Cassell, Caffel, I think.
Okay.
Well, and there's a paper. The paper actually is Cassell.pdf, so you might be able to search that way and find it. But put Gail Cassell and then PDF into a search engine, and you should be able to find something along the lines I'm telling you.
Wow.
In fact, I believe this is not I don't have proof of this, of course, but I believe approximately 70% of all cancers are caused by the bacteria that causes stomach ulcers.
Hmm. Wow.
All the cancers I've had are related to it. Okay. Well, the good news is easy. If you get rid of the bacteria, guess what? A lot of those cancers go away. Of course, that's not necessarily an easy task, because you think taking a course of antibiotics is going to do it, right? Well, the reason it doesn't do it is because when you take a course of antibiotics, it just cleanses your blood, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And a little bit of it gets into your other tissues. But in order to cleanse your tissues, you got to repeat that process over time, so that eventually your tissues get cleansed of the bacteria as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, what happens the minute you stop, bacteria that's in your tissues make it into the blood, and now you're reinfected again.
Okay.
So although it's simple in principle, it's a little bit harder in practice to get rid of that common bacteria. But there are things that you can take in your diet that kill this bacteria readily. One thing is aloe vera. You can go to the ethnic section in the Kroger, and they have aloe vera in mango or coconut flavored or whatever, and you drink a small glass of that a day, and it actually kills this bacteria every day.
Okay.
So there's ways to prevent these things from taking hold.
Mm-hmm.
And this paper I'm telling you about is important because it'll show you a lot of other things that are also related to that specific bacteria, and several others. There's sudden infant death syndrome is related to two of those.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness.
The same two that I told you asthma is related to. Arthritis is usually related to mycoplasma, species of mycoplasma.
Really?
I can't remember if it's mycoplasma pneumoniae or not, but yeah, I've helped people to get over their arthritis. Now, the thing with arthritis is once arthritis gets started, you can't just kill the bacteria. It won't go away if you just kill the bacteria. There's a process in the body that's kind of an inflammatory process in the body, mm-hmm. that you essentially have to reset. If you don't reset it, it just continues to do the damage to the joint, even though the bacteria is gone.
Okay.
Fortunately, it's easy to reset that. And what I found works is alpha-lipoic acid and beta-carotene that you can buy at Walmart.
Beta-carotene comes in carrots, though, doesn't it?
Yep.
Eat carrots.
It's concentrated. Yep. But that's kind of the reset. And then you have to reset that process a number of diseases like lupus.
Yeah. Lupus,
according to my research, you won't read about this anywhere else. My research, lupus is an allergic reaction to what's called bacterial endotoxin.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, certain people reach a level where this toxin is present in their blood. When it reaches a certain level, all of a sudden it triggers the symptoms we call lupus. And the good news, I found out how to scrub that toxin out, how the body scrubs that toxin out of the body.
Yeah.
And once you scrub the toxin out of the body, you can't get rid of the allergic reaction, right? Because it's an allergic reaction. We haven't learned how to get rid of allergies too much that easily, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can take away the trigger. And once you take away the trigger, they can manage this the rest of their life without symptoms. You know, it's horrible what people go through when they have that systemic lupus.
Yeah.
I knew a lady who spent 3 years of her life in Mayo Clinic in Minnesota, and then a total of 14 years of her life unable to work, unable to do much of anything because of the lupus.
Wow.
And I approached her and said, hey, you know, how would you like to, you know, stop that so you never have to worry about that again? She says, yeah, I'd love to hear about that. You know, she wasn't a believer at first, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, I told her how these couple things she could get at Walmart would shut down and reset that inflammatory process I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. So I just told you what those are 2 ingredients already previously. Beta-carotene, alpha-lipoic acid.
Wow.
That the alpha-lipoic acid gets absorbed by your stomach, goes straight to the liver where it makes glutathione. The glutathione scrubs toxins out of your body, including endotoxin. So that all starts dropping your ability to react to it, right?
Okay. And
the 2 combined shut down the inflammatory process that trigger the abnormal blood clotting associated with lupus.
Okay.
And when I told a lady about this one time, and she says, well, I want to run this by my doctor. I says, by all means, you know, I'm not telling you to do this, you know, I'm not a doctor. I said, by all means, you need to talk to your doctor about this. I'm just giving you information and research to present to your doctor, to talk to your doctor about. I'm not telling you to take this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so she ran it by her doctor. The doctor kind of laughed and said, he chuckled. He says, well, it won't hurt you. You can do if you want, but it won't make any difference, he said, right? Well, but I warned her, I gave her additional warnings. I said, now be aware when you start taking this, at some point you'll no longer need insulin, because people that have lupus need to take insulin all the time. I said, you also no longer need the blood thinners, the Coumadin blood thinners. And it's important to know that so that you can get with your doctor and have them back off if necessary. And this will happen fast. I don't know how fast for sure. In her case, it happened in 3 days. And because I told her, she was prepared, and she went to her doctor immediately, and the doctor, backed off on certain things. Mm-hmm. And after 3 weeks, they normally look at, I think it's called immunoglobulin A, as an indicator of the lupus, and it was normal. It was no longer in the range they would describe as a person having lupus. After 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, all normal. And now the doctor was scratching his head and says, well, how was it supposed to work? And the proof that I'd actually got to the doctor didn't know who, and still doesn't know who I am, but the doctor, the proof that I'd gotten to him, he started to ask me and my friend for help with his daughter's Crohn's disease. Mm-hmm. And a few weeks after I told her what to tell the doctor wrote it all down, called her into the office one day and said, hey, and she was freaked out because the doctor had his feet up on the desk. She says, oh no, and the doctor may have bad news for me or something. And the doctor said, tell your friend that I've done exactly what I had told him to do. and that all her Crohn's are now, she was not having symptoms anymore. And so that's how you win over doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Doctors are people too. They suffer and they have family members, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
they'd love to see real. Many of them would love to see real treatments that cure. You know,
Wouldn't that be
that
nice?
cure disease or deal with the root cause. And
Yeah.
and that once you transform all those doctors, guess what? They never go back to. You've opened their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
They start making a real difference, and that's what I do. In a nutshell, I do that a lot. I make sure I'm clear. You know, I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling anybody to take something. Go do your research. I can tell you where to start your research. You know, nowadays you have to do your own research.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't know what you're getting. You don't know what you're being told isn't going to make you worse.
Sometimes we don't have to do our own research. Sometimes the Anons do it for us, right?
Well, that too. But in general, don't think that, you shouldn't do some of your own research. You should.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a friend now who's suffering greatly because the doctor said she had cancer, and it was just an abnormal growth that normally goes along with if you have a underperforming thyroid. And what most people don't know, well, technically it's abnormal cell growth. As soon as you stabilize your thyroid function, it stops. Well, what do? The standard treatment is to give them the stuff called hydroxyurea, which actually kills the immune system. And I kept telling my friend, you need to get a second opinion. You need to,
Mm-hmm.
there's some things you need to know. And I tried to tell her, and some of her family were nurses and whatever. I said, look, I can show you where you can read this. You need to look at this. Nobody did it until later.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's had major nerve damage, paralyzed partly.
Wow. That's sad.
And so they can still turn that around too.
Peggy Dancer says, correct you are, Max. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Peggy Dancer says that too. It's nice.
What'd she say?
She says, correct you are, Max.
You have to, you can't leave anything to chance, because even well-meaning doctors, right? Many of the doctors got their degrees, 20 years earlier, right?
Right.
Even a well-meaning doctor is not necessarily up to speed with the newest things.
Right. Well, take me for instance. How many degrees do you think I have?
98.6.
How did you know? I have even more.
I've heard that one before.
When I have a fever, I have even more. So there you go.
Wow.
Yeah. Funny how that works.
One smart fella.
What, smart fella, fart smella. Yep. There you go. Yeah.
But but anyway, just I'm happy to tell anybody, where to go to research, without telling them what to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can, if they ask me, I'll tell them what I would do, but that's different from saying, we're all different. We all have slightly
Mm-hmm.
different systems. My mother and I, if we get a stuffed up nose in the wintertime or whatever, where we can't breathe, we'll take the Alka-Seltzer, and it works perfectly on us. It'll make it so we can sleep all night, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if we take the other stuff, one of those other things, it'll plug us right up. And it's crazy because other people, my mom's husband, for example, when he takes Alka-Seltzer, it plugs him up. And the other stuff that doesn't work for her opens him up. So different people respond different ways to these different cold medicines, for example. If you've tried these different things and they don't open you up, look into the Alka-Seltzer, because I'll tell you what, it's a lifesaver when you've gone 3 days. You can't sleep at night. You know, the only way you're going to get healed is if you can get a night's sleep. And you can't sleep because you're all stuffed up. You can't breathe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I think it's Alka-Seltzer cold and flu or something. I don't know, something like that. But boy, you know. But there's other people can't stand that stuff, right? It doesn't work for them. It plugs them up,
right.
and they like the other stuff.
Sure, bromo seltzer.
Or, you know, whatever it is.
All right, I have something. Oh, go ahead.
That's okay.
I was going to show this image during a SpaceX launch. There was something detected in the photographs that they're taking, and it's curiously in the shape of a tic tac. It's even white like a tic tac. Look at that. And they don't know what it is. It's on a different trajectory than the craft, so it didn't come from the craft. But what is this thing?
Maybe it's an albino mouse dropping.
I don't know.
One of the
No,
device on the, you know, that show us on the.
it looks like a pill. It looks like a white pill, but there's no windows on it. It's just like a tic tac. It looks like a tic tac in space, but it's right behind the SpaceX. And
I can give a hint to parents. A great thing that they can use to settle down an unruly child.
Oh yeah.
Get one of those things that Tic Tacs with the multicolors.
Yeah.
And carry it around with you. I used to go to a friend's house, and the kids were always driving her crazy. And I told him one time, I says, I'll give you. I had to get permission from mom first, but says, I'll give you one of these if you behave. And they all came over and they wanted one. I said, and they do that for a little while. It says, and they says they wanted another one, of course. So, well, you know, if I give you another one, you got to behave for at least an hour. And they would behave for a Tic Tac. I'm telling you, there's a secret there.
To reward. Yeah, sweet.
Yeah,
reward.
it works. I tell you.
Yeah.
It's priceless.
Yeah.
Another thing I found that works again with children, glow sticks.
Yeah.
Right? Glow sticks seem to work too.
You know, I found.
I've been out.
Go ahead.
I've been out at a restaurant, you know, where you have an unruly child, and of course it's kind of unpleasant. You're in there and the child's yelling and screaming and whatever, and you know you can feel for the parents, you know. They don't know what to do, right? And I'll go over there with a glow stick, ask if I can give glow sticks. Of course, if there's multiple children, I have to make sure I have one for each of them, of course.
Sure. Yeah.
Or, you know, and you'll learn this lesson quickly. You should all be the same color.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they're not, you know, one of them goes, I don't like this color.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, you'll break that, and all of a sudden, the child will be mesmerized for the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
So, and it works for even young children, right?
Yeah.
I've seen babies that were even colicky and whatever, and as soon as they see that glow stick, they're like, oh, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I used to, I couldn't believe it, but there were parents that never seen a glow stick before, but I take those out, and I was like, where'd you get those things? Those things are great, you know? I'm giving you some of my best, some best tips there.
Yeah. Well, when I used to work when I worked at the daycare out here at Cherry Road at the Community Child Care Center here in Sturgeon Bay, back around in the 99, 2000. So the problem is when the parents come to get the kids, there's less and less kids to clean up the mess, right?
Right.
So, no, I'm sorry. This happened at the first daycare I worked at. Bob Wojak, the director of the daycare, he had this thing called break the rule time. He said, "Okay, kids, if we get the room cleaned up, we can have 30 seconds of break or 10 seconds of break the rule time. It's where they can stand on the tables and scream and turn the lights on and off." But after a while, they're like, "Hey, break the rules. That means we can eat the snacks." Okay, we're not going to do break the rule time anymore. So with kids, you have to keep coming up with new solutions. Like
Right.
when I worked at the one up here, I picked out a song and I said, "Okay, this is our cleanup song," and we play the cleanup song. If we get done cleaning up by the time the song ends, then we get something like an extra snack or something.
Right.
And they just go, and their parents come, "Oh, darn it, we're cleaning up." So yeah, but yeah,
Make it a fun game. Yeah.
you have to keep changing it up with kids because what works today might not work tomorrow.
Well, yeah, they get smart. I couldn't believe it. I had a phone and I had one of those codes on it, right? You get 5 tries. If you don't get it right after 5 tries, it erases your phone.
Really?
And,
Really?
pattern. And I made sure I didn't let the kids see me do the pattern, right? Because there were some things on there I don't think were kid appropriate. And so I didn't fear it because I said, the kid's not going to be able to do this. And of course, I made sure I got it away from the kid before they tried something 5 times, you know? And I could not believe it. One time I left my phone, forgot about it, and a kid got into my phone.
Okay.
I had never shown the pattern. I'm like, how did the kid do this? And kids, I don't know how they do it, but they have a way of being able to get in electronics.
I know they do. Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't think that they could possibly get in it because you've got all the safety things, but you'll come back and they'll be in it, and they're like, I can't do that. How did they do that?
Mm-hmm.
My sister, one of my sister's sons, when he was a young kid, he wanted to play on the computer. Of course, he was too young. He was like 6 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were showing him how to do a few things on the screen, how to create an icon or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The next day, they woke up and they came out, and their entire screen of their desktop was covered with icons. Thousands of them. The kids had sat there all night and made icons.
Wow.
And of course, it took a lot longer to get rid of those icons. You know,
that's pretty iconic. That's ironic.
Yeah.
That's ironically iconic.
All right. But
wow.
They'll still laugh to this day about that. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Because they wondered at first, what the heck had happened to our computer? And then they realized that they're the ones that had done it. They showed them how to create an icon.
Wow.
And that's the only thing the kid knew how to do. So he thought it was fun. So he just kept making them and making them and making them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hi, Special K.
But a lot of people are afraid to use a computer and learn from it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to print from my phone, but my mother, who doesn't know how to do other things on the computer, knows how to do that.
Oh, okay.
So we had this conversation the other day. He said, well, she had to teach me how to print from my phone, which,
Interesting.
I spent 6 hours one time trying to figure that out, and I got nowhere. And to her, that's easy, you know? So it's amazing what people, the different skills we have. I mean, I built my own computer before, right? And And I routinely take the screens off of laptops and replace them, or I've even taken the screen off the phone and replaced it before. You know, in fact, there's great videos out there to show you exactly how to do that.
Right.
You know, you can learn a lot nowadays to fix your own electronics now.
Not only electronics, I'm learning how to fix my muffler, and oh man, that's the one nice thing about electric cars. There's no exhaust pipe to go wrong.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Or transmission.
Well, you're lucky they did try to steal your catalytic converter.
Oh yeah.
That's going around, you know.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
they got rhodium metal and other precious metals inside the things, and so there's a market for what's in those catalytic converters.
Well, I think that the catalytic converters are just a big joke. All the emissions controls are a joke, because when I worked at the dealership, it was a GM dealership, but at that time there was another dealership across town, the Ford dealership, I guess in the same side of town, but not too far from us. And they had imported these British Ford vans. They're kind of taller vans. Some businesses use them. They're taller than a normal van. They're kind of weird looking, but they're popular in Europe. And they got like 50 or 60 miles to the gallon or something like that. Very, very economical. And they brought them over here, and of course they had to add all of the emissions controls to it. By the time they got done, it only got 22 miles to the gallon.
Yeah.
So my question is, how much fuel efficiency is being sacrificed by the implementation of these catalytic converters? I think it's criminal. I think it's on purpose.
Well, that could be, but they can't do in fact lower the pollution level on but not as much as you think, because the exhaust is going through there fast enough that the good ones, they can't provide too much back pressure, right? Or else your engine's not going to run right, and it'll do exactly what you're saying.
Well, but is it really
the performance of the engine?
Is it really impede the performance of the miles per gallon, or is it really saving anything? Because if that car got like 650 or 60 miles to the gallon without that stuff, and then it's getting only half as much now, you have to burn twice as much gas to get the same. I mean, so it's probably a wash. I don't know.
Well, you're absolutely right. There's an economic optimum. In other words, if you were going to pass all the exhaust gases past this catalyst, right? Mm-hmm. When it gets up to temperature, it will convert the nitric oxides to other things, and so they won't show up out in the air. Okay. Mm-hmm. But if you provide that much scrubbing, it creates too much back pressure, and that's where you sacrifice fuel economy. So you're actually losing when that happens. Mm-hmm. But there is an optimum that, if done correctly, it can reduce the emissions by 20 or 30% without affecting the fuel economy. But the problem, what happens when you have an engine defect where, and this happens, we all know this, all of a sudden your car starts idling wrong or right, and you coughing and whatever, you go to the doctor and say, oh, you go to the mechanic and they say, you got a spark plug that's bad, we need to swap out the spark plug, and all of a sudden it runs smoothly again. Mm-hmm. Well, the time during when the spark plug was acting up, it was sending a lot of unburned gasoline back to the catalytic converter. Yeah. And as soon as it hits it, it makes carbon. Yeah. And the carbon coats the top of that catalyst. and starts plugging up the catalytic converter if you run it for any length of time.
Mm-hmm.
And now what happens when you start to plug up the catalytic converter? It provides back pressure, and then your fuel economy goes to hell. You know, so you're right. You're absolutely. I don't think it's intentional. It could be, in some cases, could be intentional. But if you got a malfunctioning catalytic converter, it's definitely going to sap your performance.
Yeah, I just can't help but think, these car companies, they're being, ordered by the government to put these emissions things on, and they're in bed with the oil companies. So they're probably, okay, they're going to make us do this. Let's make it use more gas than normal. Let's make it sacrifice gas mileage. Yeah, I don't know. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I just don't trust it. Something weird about it.
I did a lot of research on fuel additives for gasoline. I have one additive. To most people, if I say 2 milliliter, most people will know how much that is. What do you think? Well, 2 milliliter is 40 drops from an eyedropper. Okay, added one additive to my vehicle, which is 40 drops, 2 milliliters, 40 drops. I saw a 30% increase in fuel economy. Well, I read this in a patent, and I didn't believe it when I read it. I said, there's no way, because I think it was like 19 parts per million in gasoline. You put this additive in, it would improve the performance. And I'm thinking, that seems like it's impossible. No, it actually works, but I didn't know for a longer time why it works. The actual material is called diethyl selenide, and it's very expensive, so you couldn't really afford to do it. But diethyl selenide actually did the engine tests. What it does is slow down the combustion just enough that more of the gasoline gets burnt before it leaves the cylinder. And when it gets burnt, of course, it's giving its power to the cylinder, and so you get, more of the gas is doing what it's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Give you power for your engine. And it just slows that down imperceptibly slower,
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you get 30% increase. And I gave it to a few people, and you go to a gas station, and they see me putting this thing in with an eyedropper in the gas tank, and people will invariably ask me, "What the heck are you doing?" They're curious, right?
Mm-hmm.
What the heck is that? What is that stuff? Oh, it says it's a fuel. I said it's a fuel additive. I put at that time it was about a little bit like one eyedropper full. One eyedropper full in this whole tank of gas. When I fill it up, I said I'll get 30% more miles per gallon. He says, "That's amazing. Is that real?" I said, "Yeah." So a couple of people wouldn't believe me. I said, "Well, I can tell you the patent number. Here's the patent number. Go look it up."
Wow. Yeah, there you go.
I said the problem is until somebody invents a better way of making this additive, it's not economical.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent a lot of time perfecting that process. I actually perfected that process. I can now make it economically.
Okay.
I had another fuel additive I actually invented that we were going to take nationally, and we were trying to figure out how to do it. When we were going to buy this big energy firm called Williams Energy, and we had a high level bid. We had the high bid until Pilot Corporation outbid us. So what we were going to do, they had 170 truck stops around the country. We were going to introduce the fuel additive via those truck stops. But didn't happen.
Yeah.
Didn't happen, but you just have to kind of roll with the punches.
Yeah. Yeah.
But since that time, I learned there are environmental problems around the country. There's a fuel oxygenate that they add to the gasoline. I think it's been phased out now, but I'm not positive. It's called MTBE, methyl tertiary butyl ether. You'll see it. Usually there's a label on the side of the pump saying this gasoline uses MTBE, whatever. And well, it's a good idea. What it does is it, by oxygenating the fuel, it makes it burn more efficiently. The problem is it creates a nightmare because anytime you have a leaking tank, this fuel oxygenate is more polar than gasoline, so it likes to dissolve in water more readily. So it makes its way to your water supply. And there are cities all over this country that have small amounts of this fuel oxygenate in the water, and they have no way of getting it out. And they literally have closed down the whole cities because they no longer have water supply that's drinkable. And it's a big deal. Well, I developed a process for getting it out of the water. I actually made a process of solar powered that you just hook this onto the well, and it pumps water. Solar power pumps the liquid up through and the system, and it gets rid of the additive, and it doesn't do it overnight. Once you get below a certain threshold, it's safe to drink again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of the things I had hoped to, as a public relations thing, when we're going to replace that additive with another, I was going to offer to help clean up that around the country, and I still want to do that. Just haven't had the opportunity to do that.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Interesting.
So.
All right. Let's see. I got a meme up here. The truth will set you free, but first it may piss you off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed. But truth always prevails as it packs the mightiest punch of them all. There you go. It sure does. Yeah. And boy, I can't wait till truth just breaks out on the mainstream media when they get that all cleared out.
Yeah.
It looks like it's happening.
Well, think about what is going to happen around the globe when true freedom breaks out again. It's going to happen, folks.
Oh yeah.
And it's going to be glorious.
Yep.
You're going to see humanity united in a way never before.
Yeah, I think
they know what they know what these people have now been doing to us all along. They know that they've been creating these wars and creating division everywhere they can.
Mm-hmm.
We've woken up to that. We know, and that's what we have to fight: division of every sort, right?
If they're gonna use division, we have to multiply. There you go.
Right, exactly. As Jethro Bodine would say, we need to cipher it. You remember that?
No.
Beverly Hillbillies, Jethro.
Oh, Jethro. Okay. No,
he'd always have to cipher something.
Oh.
He put on his ciphering hat. There was a classic. There's a great one. Have you ever seen the one where Granny and the whole Clampett family go out and play golf?
No, I have not seen that one. It's been many years.
One.
It's been many years.
Greatest one.
Yeah.
Granny outdrives the golf pro.
I saw the pilot. The pilot was pretty good for that show.
Yeah. And it's a clear day, and the Granny says, "Well, about 2 p.m. we're going to get a big storm here," and one of the guys they're playing with is the head of the National Weather Service in California or something. He says, "No, there's not a chance,"
Mm-hmm.
And right at 2 a.m. on the nose, there's a huge thunderstorm.
Mm-hmm.
She says, "Well, how did you know this?" Says, "Well, I can't remember. Something about a possum or something.
Yeah.
Tea leaves or possum, whatever, told her that it was going to happen.
Well,
it's the greatest one.
Okay.
The greatest.
I'll have to look for that one. I used to deliver papers when I was a boy. They should bring that back. I mean, it teaches kids how to start a business, have a business going.
Mhm.
But yeah, um, now I
There's
forgot.
so many of those old shows that really had some redeeming value over what we see today.
Oh yeah,
You
much
know,
more, much more.
much more, and, much more entertaining.
Yeah,
Just some of the stuff I get, especially with all the wolf junk in it.
I love Green Acres. Green Acres was hilarious.
Yeah,
So funny.
Green Acres is a place for me. Yeah,
Yeah, good old fashioned. Great writing, great acting, great scripts. They don't have any of that anymore. All they have
yeah.
is really bad actors who are political and they shoot people on the set. That's all we have now.
Right.
Just losers.
So I get friends that love these cop shows, and I got to the point right now because of what we've been through with all what we're going through now. I can't stand to watch it because it got murder and everything
Mhm.
else going on. I'm like, I can't stand to watch this.
Yeah, yeah. Violence is the deep state's idea of entertainment, and I can't stomach it either. That reminds me of this meme I made. I got to show it again because it's only been on one show, I think, and my Facebook page, which is very heavily shadow banned. So I'm gonna pump this one out again. It's a picture of Alec Baldwin, and the type says, "Suffering from psoriasis, eye sag of a killer." He's starting to get those saggy eyes, just like Soros. So
Right.
he's starting to look like Jabba the Hutt.
Well, you heard the most recent thing that you were saying that, he never pulled the trigger.
Whatever he's saying, he should be saying it from behind bars.
Right. That the gun shot it by itself, right? That he pointed at people, but he never pulled the trigger. Come on now.
It's so stupid. So if you are anyone in that has a little bit of fame and you support the left, you can literally shoot someone in cold blood and nothing happens. I mean,
Right.
I just don't get it. Where is the law and order here? And
Right.
I heard he shot twice.
Yeah.
But you look now and it's just once. What just went? It went through the one bullet went through the one woman and hit the other person. Well, no, I think it was two bullets. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? I
And
don't.
he never pulled the trigger. Yeah, just how does it come out of the gun without pulling the trigger? It just doesn't work that way.
Well, he's an idiot. He's an idiot. He's trying to. I don't know what the hell he's trying to do. But what he should do is he should shave his head. Shave
at
his.
very least, until they resolve this, he should be in jail somewhere.
He should be in jail.
You and I would be.
Anybody.
We did something like that, we'd be in jail. We'd be locked up to throw away the key, probably.
I know. It's just outrageous that he's not. That no charges have. I guess he's being questioned now, or they're starting. You think he's lawyering up, but that should have happened instamatically. He is a danger to society. He killed somebody with a gun. And the left hates guns so much. Why don't they do something about this gun killing? I don't get it.
Right.
I just don't get it. Well, I do get it. Rules for thee, not for me.
Right.
Including all laws. Every single law in the book is not meant for anyone on the left. Only other people they hate. It's just mind-boggling.
It also wakes up other people, also left people that are looking at this and saying, "This is crazy,"
Like the guy that called in that said, "Let's go, Brandon," and then Biden said, "Let's go, Brandon." I agree. I agree to go F myself.
I about fell off the chair when I heard that.
Oh God! And his wife is just rolling her eyes, going, "Oh my God, what a shit show." Unbelievable.
and
There's
they
just,
don't think the guy needs to be tested.
yeah. And he wants to run for 2024. He's oh
Yep.
yeah. Most votes ever from anybody. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's amazing what he did with that campaign because he just stayed in his basement. So now all politicians should take note of that. Stay in your basement,
Right.
call the day every single day. You don't go out and you'll win. You'll get more votes than anybody. Just
Yeah.
like
Go stay in your basement, wear your mask.
Yeah. You can even beat
now double mask, right? They want double mask.
You can beat the most
Wear your
popular
double mask.
president. You can beat the most popular president we've ever had by not
Right.
doing anything and promising people you're going to raise taxes and telling black people
Right.
if they don't vote for him, they ain't black. So you got to like belittle the people. You have to hardly ever campaign. And when you do, you need to make lots of gaffes because that's the formula for success now. Got to follow
Right.
everything Biden did. All these people. They should. I wish they would. I don't think they believe their own crap though. How could they? Yeah, Mud Rabbit says I'm surprised he's not locked up yet. Yeah.
You also got to desecrate the Pledge of Allegiance too.
Yeah.
By leaving out under God.
Right. Yep. I pledge allegiance.
A lot of Democrats saw that when they had it on online, right? You can see their Democratic National Convention, and they had that in there, two different places, and under God was missing. I knew a lot of people that are Democrats that saw that. Said, what in the heck is going on?
Yep.
They started waking up immediately.
Yeah. And it's amazing that Biden won also when you take into consideration that the walk away campaign happened, the walk away movement, where like millions of people walked away from the Democrat Party. That's never happened before. Right. You've never seen that many people leave one party. It has never happened before. So how could you win with the most votes ever after a movement like that takes a lot of your people away? It's just nothing adds up.
Makes no sense.
Nothing adds up.
0 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, we know why. And me and others also know why. Don't worry, it's all gonna be straightened out to our satisfaction. We just have to wait for it.
Yeah.
It's as much a test of our patience as anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just because we have to do this right. When we take these people down by the rule of law, we have to dot the I's and cross all the T's. We can't risk someone getting off on a technicality. It can't happen.
Right.
We have to. But it's going to mean so that much more when we do take them down, because it will follow suit across the globe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We'll see a cleansing that's not happened ever before.
I think so too. Guess what, Max? Today, I called Space Force.
Really?
I called Space Force because I wanted to alert them of this finding that I got on the screen now, that ship and that space station or whatever it is that it's on, barge, space barge. And I found out that the two lines into Space Force, you can't leave a message. They're full. No one answers. I called around a bunch of different numbers. I scoured the internet for more numbers of different bases, Space Force base. I ended up talking to one guy at one of the bases. But I couldn't get a hold of anybody. That's a problem. Because, I'd love to be able to tell them about this. So I talked to two people. I told them individually about it, gave them the name of my channel. So maybe they'll check it out. Maybe I don't know. I just think that, and if it's one of their secret things, maybe I should pull it off of the internet, right?
Right.
Fat chance of that ever happening. But um, but yeah,
I'm sure someone gave you a legitimate reason. You know, you're a patriotic person. You would, if it had to be taken down, you'd take it down. No question.
possibly. Yeah,
If they give a good enough reason, and
sure.
you do what wasn't BS, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm going to keep trying. And I recorded the conversation the first time I called. Ended up being just recording of the phone ringing, so I'm not going to play that for you. It's pretty boring. But so I'll
I've
keep.
been pretty dismayed that Space Force News hasn't been on for at least 3 weeks.
Yeah. Wonder what happened.
Well, my guess is that I think Foyle got a job, and probably with the holidays,
yeah.
she gets this new job, but she probably has to work late or something.
Sure.
And my guess is they're going to come online here the next week or two and say Foyle had to work all these late hours, and so they weren't able to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know that. I just assume that.
They were talking about that. That's why they had to switch the times because of her new job. Yeah. And since she's been on my show, she's been in a movie. That movie about TR3Bs.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
And Tyler from Secure Team was Tyler from Secure Team was on there too, and
yeah.
so that's pretty cool. So she's a movie star now. Yeah.
Did you watch Frankly's Christmas Eve?
With his mom and dad. Oh yeah, that was funny. That was good.
Hilarious, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was fun.
His dad's a
that
trip.
Was good entertainment.
His dad is a trip, isn't he?
Yeah.
Those decorations he put up. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Talk about elaborate. How much money did he spend doing that? And he sent himself to the emergency room numerous times doing it.
And CBS gave him 20 seconds.
Yeah, and then he was bummed because his hair wasn't looking right. But he looks a lot like his son when he was younger.
They were hilarious. It was very entertaining.
Oh yeah, yeah. His dad's a showman. He's like an opera singer, right?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And he was singing with Frank's brother too. They sang a song together.
It's for the most part, it was pretty wholesome. I mean, there was a couple fire trucks thrown in there somewhere, but
yeah, fire truck. Yeah.
For the most part, it was fun.
Yeah, fire truck is a good word to use because it starts with F and it ends with UCK. Right. Fire truck. See that? Yeah, that's it. So maybe the Space Force will be finding out about this. Maybe we'll hear something, and we'll certainly let you know what we find out as soon as we do. I was hoping to be able to announce that today, that hey, they got it. They received my information, but not yet. So we're still waiting. I also called Space Command too. I called Space Command and Space Force.
Did you hear where somebody had bought them made them the Lord and Lady of?
Oh yeah,
Ireland or
Scotland. Yeah.
A square foot of land they got now.
Yeah.
1 square foot. That was funny.
Yeah, a Lord and a Lady.
Pretty deep too,
Yeah. Well, I guess I found out that, or my cousin found out that we have royalty in our family over there in France. France, some kings and queens in our lineage on my mother's side.
Oh, is your last name French? Where is your ancestry? Is it French or?
Irish, English, French, and Dutch. And worth very, very much.
Don't we call that mutt?
Mutts live the longest, and they're the most interesting.
Yeah.
We're all mutts. There's no pure.
Yeah, I know.
We're all related.
Mine's French, Italian, and German.
Oh yeah, I have some German in me too. German too. Yeah. Great grandpa Crickle came right from Germany. Grandpa Crickle had 13 kids. Yeah.
Oh,
He was 58, and he came over on the top side of the boat, and he got off the boat when they came here, and they let the people from below the decks come out, the poor people, and he picked out his wife. And they married and had 13 kids.
oh,
He was 58 and she was only 18.
oh.
So, but he was 75 years old when he conceived his last child. And his last child was 16 years old when he was bringing a glass of water to his father when he finally passed away at that point. So, long lived. Yeah, good old.
You got any famous people in your family tree?
Well, I looked up the family tree and I found out I was the sap. So there you go.
Oh,
I was the sap. Boom-pa. Oh, I gotta show the people what. I'll be right back. Okay, hold on.
so you got Twiggy in your family then, huh? Sorry.
I gotta show the people something here. I'm so proud of a couple of the gifts I got from my kids. Now, my son is an awesome woodworker. He made these beautiful wooden coasters. Check this out. I mean, I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's like a different color wood on the inside of these. It's just gorgeous. He makes them almost himself. And this one, if you look closely, it has two different kinds of wood. I believe it's maple and walnut. But in the middle there's a purple wood. It's naturally purple. It's called Purple Heart. And that was an exotic piece of wood that we found in my dad's stuff after he passed away. He had a bunch of exotic wood, some small pieces of wood. So he integrated that into these and gave them to me for Christmas. And I just think that they're incredible, beautiful. And my daughter gave me an old Elvis album, GI Blues, and a few other things. And this, it's a Wookiee, a mask.
That's a button for your show, right?
It's the mask that woman wore, and she was giggling in her car, and it went viral. It's so funny. I can't put it on though because it hurts. It's made for a child, and my head is large, and it actually hurts to put this on. I hold
it. To play that when you give a dad joke.
Yeah, so that's pretty fun. Like a
Space Force News has that where they push the button or whatever. Sound effects.
Yeah. So I'll keep
you need some sound effects.
I do. I know. I need a lot. A lot of stuff for sure.
Little extras.
Yeah. So I had a great Christmas with my kids. So glad that I was able to see them.
That's all we need when it goes. Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. It's plastic, but it looks kind of like Chewbacca. But yeah, pretty cool, huh? Anyway, so that's that.
Now your whole backyard is filled with Sasquatches.
Yeah, probably. I'll go out there later and go, holy crap,
They're
moly.
all looking in your window right now.
Dark Brain says, LOL, that's rad. Chewbacca. Yeah.
Get your camera out. You might be able to take a picture of him looking in his house.
Yeah. I think I might try to freak the dogs out with this, but they might really freak out if they see that face. They might attack me or something. I don't know. But yeah.
Oh, I made a big mistake one time. I had friends that had these dogs, right? And they're big dogs. And I thought I was doing a great thing. I had one of those puppets that kind of looked like a furry animal. Oh my God, I thought I was going to lose my arm.
Uh-oh.
Because I had that thing, and as soon as the dog saw it, they were like lunged at me. Because they wanted that toy. And of course, they didn't know my arm is in the middle.
Uh-oh.
So it was everything I could do to get my arm out of there before the dog got hold of it.
Oh my.
And of course, it was extra potent because it had one of those squeakers inside.
Mm-hmm.
I made a mistake of squeaking it, and as soon as that happened, it's like they were riveted on my arm,
Wow.
Yeah. Do not let children do that. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. Oh my God, it was.
Right.
I realized how close I came to getting really bit badly.
Wow.
And they like the little laser pointer too on the floor.
I bet.
They go crazy with that. Like they lose their mind and they're not paying attention to anything. So you don't want to have anything that could knock over because they will.
Mm-hmm.
The dogs tried to climb the wall,
Yeah.
to get it,
Yep. Interesting. Yeah. Well, friends, maybe we should. Artist 61's going to go to sleep. Good night, Artist 61. Maybe we should all kind of like tuck ourselves in and call it a night. What do you think? What do you think, Max?
Okay.
Getting a little tired.
It's your show. It's fine by me. I enjoy coming on here. I just love hearing when you have callers that come on here and get those people out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, no one called in today. You're the only one that called in today, so I'm glad that you did. But
well, I'd love for them to call in. If they got questions or you just want to bring up another subject we haven't talked about, or
yeah. Oh, another thing that I said I was going to do on my next show was give away a Popple book, and I didn't do that either. So, well,
you can do it next time.
Next time we'll give away two books, Popple and Popple's Place, separately. So that'll be it's Monday, so Wednesday. So tune in on Wednesday night, and we'll find out. On Wednesday night, we'll give away two books, Popple and Popple's Place, separately. So 2 chances to win, maybe more. It depends on some other factors. So, yeah. And then Friday, of course, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we're here like clockwork. And we even were here on Christmas Eve. So there you go. Nothing can stop full disclosure, baby. Nothing. All right. Oh, someone special K says, does Maxwell Smart teach money classes over on Telegram? No, I don't think he's on Telegram. No. He's exclusively here for now. Isn't that right?
Yep.
He's exclusively here. He's a time.
I tutor some people.
Yeah.
I tutor for free though.
Okay.
I've helped a lot of people, that they're struggling in college or whatever, and they don't know what to do. Maybe they've had 4 exams for the year, and They come to me and there's 2 exams left, and if they don't pass it, they'll get kicked out of nursing school. So, and what I usually do is I've discovered that most people that come to me in that situation know a lot more than they realize. You just have to get their confidence up.
Right.
You know, there's usually one little thing that's keeping them from having confidence. And so my tactic, and you're probably aware of these tactics because you probably use help with the children, but is find out what they're interested in first. You get them relaxed, talk about some of their interests or whatever, and then you try to relate whatever the particular lesson is to one of their hobbies.
Yeah.
And then when you can show them, well, if you know how it relates to their hobbies, and then they can remember it, and then all of a sudden you see the light bulb go on, and all of a sudden you know that they're going to pass this. I did that a lot in college. I did for free. I really, really enjoyed doing it.
Well, that's
Made a
another,
lot of good friends that way.
that's another thing we have in common, because I used to give a lot of advice too to kids who were looking at going into college. And I would always give them my advice. My advice to people looking at going to college is, instead of 4 years of college, try 4 years of collage, because it's a lot cheaper and it sounds the same. That's what I would say.
Yeah. I had one lady who was a nursing student came to me, and she was distraught because there was a class she had to pass, or she's not going to be able to continue on in her nursing. And she was sick, so it's a 5-week lab course, and it's 3 hours of lab per day for 5 weeks. She missed 2 whole periods, and so they pretty much told her there's no way you're going to be able to complete it with 3 weeks left. And so she came to me and says, "Is there anything we can do?" I said, "Well, yeah, I can show you and teach you that how to do this by another method. And what you're going to have to do is you have to learn what I'm telling you, and you're going to have to be able to explain it to the teaching assistants. And trust me, they're going to find it so phenomenal that you were able to think and come up with another method. You know, you're probably going to get one of the highest scores in the class. You know, and so I taught her how to do it, but she did all the work. And it's one of those things where you have to figure out what metals you have in your solution.
Okay.
And I taught her, how to do it. I taught her basically how to think. And she got a perfect score. She came back to show me what the professor and teaching assistant had written on that. So it was one of the proudest moments for me and her.
That's nice.
So
that's pretty cool.
So I love making the difference. But nothing feels better.
There you go. Yeah. It really
Nothing
does.
feels better.
That's right. You're absolutely right there. When you're making a difference, that's why we're here.
And I guarantee that woman, wherever she is now, she remembers that. You know?
Yeah.
Guarantee it.
Well, friends, we've done it again. We've spent some time together, and we've chatted and had a great time. Thank you, everybody in the chat. I want to thank Mud Rabbit and Dark Brain and everybody who came along today. Everyone in the chat is just wonderful. Oh, and Special K said that there's someone over there that sounds like you. That's why she asked that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What channel is this?
On Telegram. Someone's impersonating you. So.
Oh, really?
I
they
guess.
Call themselves Maxwell Smart?
I don't think so. Just your voice sounds
okay.
like your voice sounds like someone over there. That's what she said.
Well, I do have some actual twin people that look like me out there. I've actually encountered one of them before.
I've seen my twin.
And we looked at each other across the room, and we're just like,
yeah.
Whoa, and we didn't ever. I should have gone over and said something, but I didn't. I thought there might be an antimatter explosion if I did that.
Yeah.
But it was weird.
Yeah, I saw my double in a car was passing in a car, but so thanks to everyone who watches, shares, and subscribes. Tell all your friends. Keep your camera and phone handy so you can take that picture, so you can come on to a Truth Quest and talk about it. And remember, you rock. And we'll see you again on Wednesday night and Friday. Until then, peace in.